The culture of the Netherlands is diverse, reflecting regional differences as well as the foreign influences built up by centuries of the Dutch people's mercantile and explorative spirit. The Netherlands and its people have long played an important role as a center of cultural liberalism and tolerance. The Dutch Golden Age is popularly regarded as its zenith. Language. The official language of the Netherlands is Dutch, spoken by almost all people in the Netherlands. Dutch is also spoken and official in Aruba, Brussels, Curaçao, Flanders, Sint Maarten and Suriname. It is a West Germanic, Low Franconian language that originated in the early Middle Ages and was standardized in the 16th century. West Frisian is also a recognized language and it is used by the government in the province of Friesland. Several dialects of Low Saxon are spoken in much of the north and east and are recognized by the Netherlands as regional languages according to the European Charter for Regional or Minority Languages. Another Dutch dialect granted the status of regional language is Limburgish, which is spoken in the southeastern province of Limburg. However, both Dutch Low Saxon and Limburgish spread across the Dutch-German border and belong to a common Dutch Low German dialect continuum. There is a tradition of learning foreign languages in the Netherlands. About 89% of the total population have good knowledge of English, 70% of German, 29% of French and 5% of Spanish. Religion. Between the Celtic and Germanic peoples and later the Roman conquerors, a cultural exchange took place. An adaptation of polytheistic religions and each other myths has taken place among the various tribes, coming from both the Germanic, Celtic and later Roman mythology. From the 4th to the 6th century CE, the Great Migration took place, in which the small Celtic, Germanic, Roman tribes in the Low Countries were gradually supplanted by three major Germanic tribes: the Franks, the Frisians and Saxons. Around 500 the Franks, initially residing between the Rhine and the Somme, adapt to Christianity. However, it would take at least until 1000 CE before all pagan people were actually Christianized by force and the Frisian and Saxon religions went extinct, although elements were incorporated into the Christian religion. The following centuries Catholic Christianity is the only mainstream religion in the Netherlands. The rebellious Netherlands that had united in the Union of Utrecht declared their independence from Spain in 1581. During the 80 Years' War, Spain finally accepted this in 1648. The Dutch Revolt was partially religiously motivated. During the Reformation, many of the Dutch had adopted Lutheran, Anabaptist, Calvinist or Mennonite forms of Protestantism. These religious movements were suppressed by the Spanish, who supported the Counter-Reformation. After independence, the Netherlands adopted Calvinism as a quasi-state religion, but practiced a degree of religious tolerance towards non-Calvinists. The Netherlands was a predominantly Christian society until late into the 20th century, with a strong demarcation between roughly the Catholic South on one side and the Calvinist North on the other side. In the 1960s, this started to diminish. Although religious diversity remains, there has been a decline of religious adherence. The Netherlands is one of the most secular countries in Western Europe, with fewer than 5.6% visiting religious services regularly in 2010. Religion is in the Netherlands generally considered a personal matter which is not supposed to be propagated in public. In a December 2014 survey by the VU University Amsterdam was concluded that for the first time there are more atheists than theists in the Netherlands, the rest of the population being agnostic or atheist. Since 1989, the unaffiliated have become mainstream. According to the most recent statistics, approximately 34% of the Dutch people adhere to the two historical Christian traditions of their country. Meanwhile, Muslims in the country constitute 5% of the total population, and 6% are adherents of other faiths, ethnic religions, and new religious movements. Approximately 55% of the population has no religious affiliation. Almost all Christian groups show a decrease in the number of members or less stable membership. However, in particular the loss of members of the two major churches, which are the Roman Catholic Church in the Netherlands, with a membership loss of more than 300,000 members between late 2005 and late 2010, and the Protestant Church in the Netherlands, with a membership loss of more than 150,000 members, caused the number of Christians in the Netherlands to have decreased from approximately 7.132 million by the end of 2005 to 6.861 million by the end of 2010. Also, atheism, atheism, agnosticism and Christian atheism are on the rise, the first three being widely accepted and the last one being more or less considered non-controversial. A countervailing trend is produced by a religious revival in the Protestant Bible Belt, and the growth of Muslim and Hindu communities resulting from immigration and high birth rates. The SCPU expects the number of non-affiliated Dutch to be at 72% in 2020. Different sources give very different percentages. A 2007 research God in Netherlands, based on in-depth interviews of 1132 people, concluded that 61% of the Dutch are non-affiliated. Similar studies were done in 1966, 1979 and 1996, showing a steady decline of religious affiliation. That this trend is likely to continue is illustrated by the fact that in the age group under 35, 69% are non-affiliated. However, those who do identify with a religious denomination tend to be more profoundly religious than in the past. Religious belief is also regarded as a very personal affair, as is illustrated by the fact that 60% of self-described believers are not affiliated with any organized religion. There is a stronger stress on positive sides of belief, with hell and the concept of damnation being pushed into the background. Islam has begun to gain a foothold and mosques are being built. There is also a small group of Jews living in the Netherlands, most of them are settled in Amsterdam.